Hi, so this is my video blogs that I'm going to start doing, and I want to talk today about long-term unemployment. I was homeless for 20 years, and I never worked. Well, I'll say obviously, I never worked in all that time, apart from maybe the odd little job here and there that I did just to try and scrape a few bob together to get some booze. But other than that, I never really worked since I left school, ultimately. I'm 49 this year, at the end of this month, and I left school when I was 15, going on 16. And as I say, apart from when I had a YTS, which is a youth training scheme, which Margaret Thatcher brought out back in her time, apart from that, and that lasted 6 months. That was at A.K.A warehouse. I was a warehouse assistant. I did enjoy that job, actually, as it goes. I did enjoy it, but it's not something I wanted to do as a career necessarily. And you didn't really get a great deal of choice in what youth training scheme you went on necessarily, from, if I remember rightly. But anyway, the thing is that, as I say, I didn't leave school with any great qualifications apart from my art. And so in the last 5 years I've been living in a flat in Brixton, and I've been signing on. First I had ESA. I was on ESA to begin, employment and support allowance, and then I went on to job seekers allowance, and all through that time I tried my best to try and get employment. But now I've been doing a lot of voluntary work through that time, working with a particular guy that I met on a training course, and I've worked with him ever since, and he works with the homeless, and that's what I want to do. I want to work in the homeless field, the homeless and mental health field, because I've got lived experience of both of those things, homelessness and with mental health issues. And the thing is that for me, I wanted to be able to help others if I can, because I know that my experience so far that I've shared with other people, and I've shared in different organisations, I've shared these experiences and stuff with professional people, and it's been amazing. The response has been amazing. People are saying just how valuable those experiences have been for them, to inform them in how best to help people like myself that were homeless and with mental health issues. And you know, they've gone on to change their practices. They've gone on to reform some of the services that they provide, purely based on my experiences. And through that, I've thought to myself, well, how can I make this into a career? How can I make my living using this and using my experience and turning my experiences, which some of it has been quite horrendous one way or another. If you hear some of the tales that I've got to tell of my homeless experiences and times when I was locked up in various different institutions as well because of my mental health, some of the horrendous experiences that I had, you would think like, wow, this is pretty horrible, negative stuff. But to change that and use those negative experiences in a much more positive way, and to use it for good, and I'm quite happy to do that. If my story, if my experiences and whatever can help change things and help other people going through those systems and going through that what I went through, then great. Do you know what I mean? It helps me as well then. Do you know what I mean? I feel that like all of that history, all of that stuff that happened wasn't for nothing. There was a purpose to it ultimately, and hopefully that purpose is to help others not to have to experience all that through their life. So yeah, as I say, I will be updating further vlogs about this, and about, as I say, going self-employed is a big step, and my experiences around that. I've only just gone self-employed officially, signed off last Thursday, so I'm no longer on job seekers allowance. I'm still on I'm on a new thing called the new enterprise scheme, So I will still be receiving a small amount of benefit for 33 weeks, but essentially that's it. I've got to now provide for myself, delivering the training that I do, consultation. I'm also like a co-director of a new organisation that's just been set up by SLAM, South London and Maudsley, and there's another couple of organisations involved. I can't remember off the top of my head who they are now off the top of my head, but being co-director of this company, basically at the moment it's ultimately will be a paid position, but as it stands at the moment, looking for funding and so forth and what have you. But anyway, the thing is that, as I say, for me, this is quite a daunting experience. There's a lot of anxiety around it, but I've got to learn to cope with it, and I've got to learn how to deal with it in a positive way, and deal with it so that I don't just throw it all away, like has been my pattern throughout my life. When I've tried to do different things, when I've tried to change my life around or whatever, and it's got too difficult, and I've not been able to contain those emotions and those fears, that basically I've pressed the F button. I don't want to swear on here, so I'll just leave that to your imagination what that button actually is. The F button, or the F it button if you like, and then just throw it all away. And that has been a pattern throughout most of my life, one way or another. And this time around, I hope I've got better tools to deal with these things and the stress that it may bring up. So yeah, for me, going self-employed is quite exciting. I'm looking forward to the prospects of what it might bring for me, but also I'm well aware of the fact that I've got to make this work, because this will ultimately, this either succeeds or fails purely on my own efforts or lack of, depending. And I just hope I can do this, because I really want this to work. I really, really want this to work. I don't want to go back on benefits. I don't want to be in the system in that way. And especially in this day and age where people now are demonised, who people are on benefits one way or another, through the media and so forth, through those documentaries, Benefit Street and all this sort of carry on. I couldn't even bring myself to watch that. I got so angry, the first few minutes of watching it. I had a feeling straight away they were going to paint us in all, tar everybody with the same brush, almost essentially. But anyway, like I say, I don't want to go back to that benefits. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and do my own thing. But as I say, I'm also frightened of not being able to manage it, for it not to work. And therefore end up homeless again. That's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is ending up back on the streets. And as I say, it's I was homeless for 20 years, and I some of it was horrendous. Not all of it. There were some funny moments as well. Actually, there were some good times and there were some funny moments. But for the most part, it was the most horrendous way to live for any human being, to be quite honest. And in fact, you start becoming less than human. You start perceiving yourself as less than human even. But anyway, I will be dropping a little picture down, maybe either above me here or where the red bus is. That will be a picture of me when I was homeless. I'm going to try and do that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to succeed. I'm trying to make these videos a little bit more professional, if you like. I know I haven't got top-notch equipment and studios and all the rest of it. This is certainly no Young Turks, let's put it that way. Oh, name dropping again, eh? I don't know if people have watched the Young Turks, but I love the Young Turks. Fantastic. What they do is fantastic. I love it. But yeah, so I'm going to try and drop a little picture down once I've edited this a little bit and what have you. I'm going to see if I can get that picture to drop down nice and slick and say, oh look, there's me when I was homeless. But otherwise, if that doesn't work, that was me when I was homeless. That's a picture of me when I was, that's about 15 years old, that picture. and believe it or not, that was me. As you can see, the sort of stereotypical image of the tramp. That was me about 15 years ago, and I don't want to go back to that. I seriously don't want to go back to that. And as I say, I'm going to try and make these videos a little bit more slick, a bit more, I don't know, like a proper YouTube channel, if you like. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, this is all, you know, experimentation and stuff and what have you. So anyway, yeah. So like I say, for me, going self-employed is exciting, scary, but I really want this. I really want this. I want this to work. I want this to work so much, because I don't want to go cap in hand back to that benefit office. You know, I seriously don't want that to happen, and I'm going to try my best, my damnedest, to make sure that doesn't happen. Believe me, unless you've been through the benefit system, and you know, and if you're like me, that you didn't really want to be in that system, really, you know, circumstances dictated for whatever reason you're in that situation, that, you know, ultimately you want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, because, you know, it's a degrading system, to be quite honest. It really is. I felt so anyway, and as I say, you know, I dreamt, I'm not joking, I had dreams, I fantasised about the day I would actually sign off from that office and walk out of that place, and then basically just telling them where they can go and stick their benefits where the sun doesn't shine. Now, I didn't actually do that on the day, to be quite honest, because, you know, it's probably not a good idea, really, you know, one way or another, and do a lot of them deserve that? Maybe not, because there were some decent ones that worked in there, actually, as it goes. There were some that were not so good either, but anyway, as I say, the thing is, I just ultimately, I don't want to go back to that, one way or another. I don't want to go back to that. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to have a little play around with the editing on this and see if I can make it look a bit better. But expect a few more of these coming up, hopefully. And I might have a different background next time as well, actually. I'm not going to quite let you know how I've created that background right now. Not right. I might. Yes, the thing with me is I am very open. I'm a very open person, and I'm not really into sort of trying to be. I can't. Oh, great! I can't even think of the word now. But anyway, never mind. The thing is that I'll tell you what it is. That is my bed cover. That is actually a duvet cover that I've pinned to my ceiling to make it look more like News at 10 or something. Do you know what I mean? And make it look a bit more slick. Oh no! I've let the secret in. Oh no! Now I've blown the illusion. But hey, who am I trying to kid, really? Let's face it. I'm no flipping, like I say, I'm not the Young Turks, and I'm not any other of those very slick, very professionally done YouTube channels that people have got these days. I've noticed that there seems to be more and more of these very much more professionally done YouTube channels, essentially. Quite interesting. I quite like the idea that people are doing that now, and you know, this is becoming much more of the media than the mainstream media, if you like, and I like that, and that's why I love the Young Turks as well. I love what they do, but hey ho, you know, I'm just Joe Blogs, and I'm not really out to do anything necessarily special or whatever. I just, again, for me, it's about if I can help people in any way, shape or form, and if using this medium can in some way inspire or help or you know, give people ideas, you know, maybe a different way of thinking of things that they never thought of before, then, you know, great, I love it. That's what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm no Mother Teresa. I'm not trying to put myself up as some sort of flipping saint here or something, or trying to save the world, but I'm just trying to do a little bit, do what I can, if I can. Do you know what I mean? As much as I can. You know, I'm another human being at the end of the day that's been through a lot, and is just trying to help other people if he can. You know, I'm not perfect, and I don't always get it right. I still make mistakes, but I'm just trying. I'm trying my best, and like I say, hopefully this might help. If it doesn't, fine, I'll try something else. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'm going to check it and see what it looks like. So see you later. Take care.